in the world who do these Jew haters think is going to judge them in the last day? Well, you know, the Jews run the world. I know one that runs the universe. You will be judged by a Jew, whether you like that or not.
The Bible says the day is coming when a Jewish man is coming back to engage in a very violent and hostile takeover of the entire earth.
And let's not forget, in Daniel and Ezekiel foreshadowing, but also in Revelation, when Christ shows back, he blows them all up and kills billions of them. So let's understand vengeance is God's. Like when Christ returns with a sword out of his mouth, he kills them in mass. So that's the Jesus that comes as the king.
It's important to ground that this king, this Christ is king concept that people are misusing, he's talking about a Jewish king, a Jewish Messiah to the Jewish people first. This was the king that will save Israel, that will rule righteously. Jeremiah 23 calls him the Adonai Tzidkenu, the Lord our righteousness.
As Christians, our own faith is built upon Judaism. So if there wasn't a Jewish people, if there were not 10 commandments, if there was not a progression of the light and law of God in the world, there would be no Christianity.
And I want to ask people, someday when you look in Jesus' eyes, you're looking in full Jewish eyes, ladies and gentlemen. Our Savior did not used to be Jewish, and now he's a Christian. No, our Savior is Jewish.
Without the Jewish people, we have no story. We have no scripture, we have no prophets, we have no covenants, we wouldn't know the law, we would have no Messiah. Our Messiah, if you haven't checked lately, is an observant Jewish rabbi, one Jesus from Nazareth.
President Trump just said it. It's also in the Bible. It says, those who will bless you will be blessed, and those who will curse you will be cursed. And that's actually what is happening. We want the blessings.
Speak up for the Jewish people, take a trip to Israel, teach more on eschatology. If you're not a teacher, just a Christian, study eschatology.
Right. You know, God talks about no other nation more in his word, from Genesis to Revelation, and the nation of Israel, approximately 2,400 times. And he calls them and his people, this is the apple of his eye, his treasured possession. He doesn't talk about any other nation or people group that way.
God said, I chose Jerusalem. And this is where I will make my dwelling place. This will be my throne. And this will be my throne forever. And from the law comes forth from Jerusalem. Out of Zion, the law comes.
Ladies and gentlemen, those who preach and practice the hate of anti-Semitism are our enemies.
When we as Christians go to Israel, we are celebrated and treated like the most amazing you could ever imagine. Okay, Israel changed my life. When I went to Israel, I was reading Bible stories my whole life as a committed Christian. And all of a sudden, I had a life-changing experience. The nation of Israel actually has a place in God's plan for us on this planet. There's something special about Israel, and I think we have a moral commitment to that land.
Like this Charlie Kirk. How much he spoke for Israel, how much he fought the Arabs, how much he fought gays, how much he fought corruption. In the end, he was a servant of JC, a missionary. Unfortunately, the Torah says a Jew or a Gentile that worship anyone but God, it's a death penalty. Zero tolerance about it. Zero tolerance.
I didn't know that's where that one was going. Wow. What a fire edit. I love these edits, starting the shows with the edit. Another masterpiece by John Garadas. Wake up, Christians. What an intro. What's up, everybody? Adam Green here with No More News. Thank you all for joining me today. Thursday, October 2nd, 2025. Massive show today. ADL has been dropped by the FBI. SPLC and ADL are in the hot seat. Maybe. We'll talk about it. The TikTok takeover is taking place, is unfolding. They're censoring a bunch of new stuff now. We're going to get into that, who's behind it, who's running it now, and they're coming for X as well. We have a bunch of articles coming out saying X is perpetuating the most anti-Semitism of all time. What else? ADL has retired its glossary of extremism. In the last show, we covered how everybody was posting that ADL is a hate group. Elon called ADL a hate group because they shared around that screenshot saying Christian Identity is considered a hate group. Christian Identity is a specific sect in Christianity. But the ADL has pulled down now their glossary on extremism. You see, they really pulled it down because of the backlash that they had Charlie Kirk's TPUSA on there, and they had America First on there, and, you know, all of their other stuff that ADL does terrible. But now the ADL gets to play victim and say that people were intentionally misrepresenting their glossary index, meaning they're out of context Christian Identity post, but they have taken it down. This does not mean it's a victory, though. Them being dropped by the FBI very likely could be a small victory, but we'll see who they replace them with. It's just going to be different Jews censoring slightly in a different way. But ADL says, with over 1,000 entries written over many years, the ADL glossary of extremism has served as a source of high-level information on a wide range of topics for years. At the same time, an increasing number of entries in the glossary were outdated. We also saw a number of entries intentionally misrepresented and misused. Moreover, our experts have continued to develop more comprehensive resources and innovative ways to provide information about anti-Semitism, extremism, and hate. At ADL, we always are looking forward to how we should do things better. That's why we are moving to retire the glossary effectively, immediately. Remember how they had the definition of racism where it was like only white people could be racist, and then they had to there was an outcry about that. Everybody was going viral, they were sharing it, and they changed that as well. They push too far and then they have to walk it back sometimes. This will allow ADL to explore blah blah blah, fighting anti-Semitism and hate in the most impactful way, like taking over TikTok, like pushing for a takeover of TikTok. This is big, though. The FBI director, Kash Patel, 60,000 likes, has tweeted, Patel cuts ties with Comey's FBI made with ADL as organization faces backlash for TPUSA criticism. That era is finished. The FBI formally rejects Comey's policies and any partnership with the ADL. Wow. Didn't Wikipedia also ban the ADL for something? Or am I getting that mixed up with something else? This was James Comey's love letter.
Is essential, and your experience in hate crime prevention and investigations is essential and makes us better.
They're working with police. They're working with FBI. They're training them. They're providing them with guidelines and stuff. Effective immediately.
Your research has helped FBI agents and analysts as they conduct assessments and prepare intelligence reports. And the training you voluntarily provide in classrooms, in conferences, and at the community level is eye-opening and insightful. Now, if this sounds a little bit like a love letter to the ADL, it is because I intended so. When I spoke to you 3 years ago, I sang your praises. I sang your praises and highlighted the way you fight for inclusivity and diversity, highlighted the way you fight for equality and justice. And I did that because at the time I described yours as an organization that works with us to fight hate crime and terrorism, to educate law enforcement, to build bonds of trust.
Didn't we play the clip of Greenblatt recently saying that they're working with the Trump administration to roll out their guidelines?
With important
their
communities
requests
all over the country. I labeled that speech 3 years ago a love letter to the ADL. 3 years later,
Disgusting.
I can say from the perspective
Gay.
of the FBI, we are still in love with you.
Whoa. Creepy. No influence, though. Oh, yeah, we got it. The power chat's turned on as well. Link is in the description below and pinned to the top where we're streaming in Rumble and Odysee. Powerchat.live/no
Watch
more
the Collapse
news.
podcasts and $5 on Rumble. They don't need a glossary when they have the IRA definition. Everything is hate.
True. If they're still pushing forth the IHRA definition of anti-Semitism, they don't really need the glossary. The glossary wasn't having a positive benefit for them, so they just hid it. They just brushed it under the rug, put it down the memory hole, all the things they had on there. That era is over. This FBI won't partner with political fronts masquerading as watchdogs. A group that ran disgraceful ops spying on Americans. The ADL teams up with PayPal, Patreon, Facebook, everyone. To get me banned off of all of those is probably because the ADL says so. And that's all still happening. It's not like we had a big victory just because the FBI is not taking orders from them anymore. Charlie Kirk wrote in 2023, whatever it was in the past, today the ADL is a hate group that dons a religious mask to justify stoking hatred on the left's enemies and the enemies of Israel. I believe in the First Amendment and free speech as a principle regardless of what the law says. I don't want to ban anyone's speech, but the ADL has no place extorting X or Twitter or any other social media companies, nor should it dictate to federal law enforcement agencies what hate
Amalek
speech
Defamation
is.
League sent $5 on Rumble. It's all so tiresome. Totally black-billed. Do you think they make this bad hoping people will cave to the despair and become Christ cucks for an easy way out?
Well, I don't know if they do that intentionally, but that is what happens. It's so bad only Jesus can save us, right? The ADL itself is America's #1 purveyor of hate speech, and the SPLC is #2. Ban the ADL. He supported ban the ADL in 2023, Charlie Kirk. And looks like it's banned from the FBI. The ADL has attacked me on numerous occasions, publicly writing about me, and also, I'm sure, behind the scenes, getting me banned from PayPal, Patreon, Facebook, Squarespace, as well as the other SPLCs attacked me as well. They're coming after SPLC now, too. They're under the spotlight. ADL drops glossary of extremism. Scott Adams says it's a step in the right direction, but don't forgive or forget what the ADL did to Charlie Kirk and TPUSA. Don't forget what they did to millions of people and their censorship. Elon says the FBI was taking their hate group definitions from the ADL, which is why they were investigating Charlie Kirk in Turning Point instead of his murderers. It is true. That part's true. Representative Anna Paulina Luna, she's one of the ones that was sharing around that ADL screenshot about Christian identity. But she's, I mean, you know, I was like, oh, is this going to backfire? This might backfire. Well, maybe I was wrong about that, to be honest, because they took down their glossary. They're getting kicked out of the FBI. We'll have to see what happens after that, how this actually pans out. But that taking that thing out of context might have actually had some good, and I could have been wrong about that. We'll see. But she's on a better track and totally justified here. Why is PayPal partnering with the ADL? Very publicly. It used to be more privately, and it was like something you had to expose, but then they went completely above the board public with it as well. PayPal partners with ADL to fight extremism and protect marginalized communities. And remember there was like a leak where we saw internal slides that ADL had for PayPal? And it was like, if you're anti-immigration, if you're a white advocate, ban. Any type of anti-Semitism, banned. The ADL has bullied and coerced huge numbers of institutions to take order from it about whose views should be deemed extremists and prohibited. Banned from PayPal. Are we going to get some victories? And actually get our channels back and be allowed back on PayPal and all these platforms? Talk about real discrimination. Talk about real authoritarian power. How about the ADL? How about Jewish interests censoring people that are critical of them? Elon. Oh, we're going to talk about not just the TikTok takeover and the ADL and SPLC under the spotlight, under scrutiny, but we have a bunch of clips also. Libs of Chabad TikTok is running a cancel Netflix campaign. Elon is boosting it. One of Elon's boys turned trans and turned into a girl and hates him, so he's real upset about this stuff, this woke trans ideology. We're going to play a bunch of those clips as well. It's outrageous. I want to cancel Netflix. I knew it was bad, but then seeing a compilation, seeing all the examples, I can never have my kids watch Netflix. I usually try to have them watch like old stuff that I saw when I grew up. Although some of that was really bad too, but you know, some of the classics that you've seen and know aren't too subversive. Aren't too subversive. Anyway, they're pushing Kash Patel also eliminate the relationship with the SPLC as well. Elon says super important. SPLC and ADL need to be crushed. Elon, conspiracy truther says, I hope Elon doesn't start pushing the Jews are white crap. He already was. He tweeted about that the other day. Is he playing 4D chess, trying to get the Jews on board to stop the anti-white hate? Is that what he's trying to do? I don't know what his angle for doing it, if he really thinks it. Elon writes, the SPLC is an evil organization that spreads hate propaganda relentlessly and needs to be shut down. Retweeting Cernovich. Is the SPLC involved at the FBI? The SPLC incited a mass shooting against a Christian group, Family Research Council, and provides a hit list for terrorists. Now would be a good time to clean house fully. It would be a good time. I don't know. I can't think of any downside at the moment of having ADL and SPLC crushed. Even if it's Cernovich and Elon and some Zionist-friendly people doing it. Can anybody think of the downside? What, just... Are they just going to play victims and it's going to be headlines? Oh, Jewish groups kicked out. Like they talk about in Germany, like, oh, the B'nai B'rith and the Jewish groups were shut down right before. And is that what this is? Or is it a real W? TikTok has now been handed over to Oracle. We know this isn't a big W. Handed over to Larry Ellison, one of the second richest man in the world after Elon, according to the official record books. A company run by a Zionist Jew who donated millions to the IDF. Let's see a little bit of this thread. Who is behind the TikTok ban? We got some videos. Okay, we're not going to go through all of that. Look at who they put in. Former proud Zionist, former IDF agent and proud Zionist, Erica Mindell, to directly run their censorship at TikTok as soon as they took it over. As soon as Trump and our government forced them to sell, hostile takeover, forced them to sell to a bunch of Zionists like Larry Ellison at Oracle. TikTok hires proud American Jew to tackle anti-Semitism on platform. That was the original Jerusalem Post headline. In reality, TikTok's new hate speech manager is former IDF soldier and proud Zionist. Or was that the real headline? I don't know. I can't tell what they're doing with this meme. But here she is in her own words. They found a solution to the TikTok problem. The new TikTok Zionist censorship czar. I was banned on the old TikTok for posting rabbi videos. I was suppressed and shadow banned and then completely banned from TikTok before the Jews took it over.
My own Zionist identity. After my sophomore year, like many of my friends, I had a summer internship, a Goldman Fellowship at AJC. I came to work each morning as Israel engaged in one of the larger military operations of my lifetime, Tzuk Eitan, Operation Protective Edge. That summer, I realized how impactful my Jewish upbringing and education was. I simultaneously realized how passionate my own Zionist identity had become. I knew the well-being of Jews worldwide and the security of Israel would be issues of lifelong importance to me. I grew up in a traditional Jewish household, but in an untraditional decision, after graduating from Michigan, I made Aliyah and enlisted in the Israel Defense Forces. I spent the next 2 years serving as a Madrichat Shirion, an instructor in the Armored Corps. To many, this might seem like a contradiction. For a woman who identifies as liberal and progressive to be a Zionist so committed as to join the IDF, for me, these two identities go hand in hand.
So much for leftist anti-Israel Jews, right? Am I right? Solve the TikTok problem. Amazing. Amazing. You couldn't make this up. I want to see again. Is this headline true? TikTok new hate speech manager is former IDF. Let's see if that's the real headline. That was not the real headline. I got it right. This was the real headline. That's the more accurate one. TikTok hate speech manager is former IDF soldier. No, it is. That is the Jerusalem Post headline. I mean, it's not like it's anything crazy about it. You couldn't make this up. They forced the sale. The Jews kvetch about it nonstop. They forced the sale to their Zionist friend. They install the hate speech manager as a proud ultra-Zionist and leftist. Double whammy. Can't even get a right-wing Zionist. It's going to be an ultra-leftist Tikkun Olam Zionist. And now they're moving their sites. Now that they conquered TikTok, they're moving their sites over to X, which may already be under their control. And this supposed, outburst, explosion of satanic Jews killed Jesus, low IQ anti-Semitism that has exploded is being used just for the pretext and for the headlines, like we're going to show here in a minute. As soon as she got in, they overhauled the hate speech terms of service. Anti-Semitism, Islamophobia, white supremacy. Blaming an entire group of actions committed by one person. This is just like the anti-Semitism definition. Denying or minimizing well-documented historical atrocities like the Holocaust. Complete shut it down. Now they have begun censoring the juice box emoji. You're not allowed to call Israelis terrorist, I think was another one that was happening. This is what they fear, apparently, is this cartoon apple juice box. Banned. Dude, that's how hypersensitive these people are, that they're banning icons like this because they're used as code. This is no joke. Here's Larry Ellison. This is who owns it now.
And tell us, what is your connection to Israel? Well, the renewal of the Jewish state is something that I think touches all of us. For 2,000 years, we were a stateless people. And now we have a country of our own, defended by all the brave men.
Country of our own. From the American Zionist that calls another country his own.
And women of the IDF. So anything we can do to support them who, devote their lives for preserving the state of Israel, keeping the people safe, and allowing our state to continue sometimes in very, very difficult situations.
Did you visit Israel?
I have.
Dude, we got this guy, we got Elon, we got Peter Thiel, so many others. It's like the only.
Been to Israel. I've been to the border. I have spent time to the people who govern the state of Israel, and I feel a deep emotional connection to the state of Israel and the Israeli people.
You are an high-tech person. What do you think about Israeli startups and high-tech phenomena?
Oh well, after Silicon Valley, there's an area. Herzliya has probably got more startups than any other place other than Silicon Valley in Northern California. So we've actually acquired a number of Israeli companies. We have two CEOs at Oracle. One's name is Safra Katz, and she was born in Israel. So again, we love the country of Israel, and we'll do everything we can to support the country of Israel.
Recently hear that many people criticizing Israel, especially after the Gaza operation. How do you feel as someone just saying we love Israel so much?
Well, again, it's a difficult situation, isn't it? To conduct military operations around civilians is very difficult, and of course, there were tragedies and.
Okay, we get the point. Look at all these clips. Jonathan Greenblatt, they'll say it's an anti-Semitic trope to claim they're censoring the internet, and then we've just got clip after clip after clip of them kvetching about TikTok. It's not under their control, saying how much of it's a problem, and then they take it over, put in their Zionist, start censoring everything, and they'll say oh, that's just an anti-Semitic conspiracy theory that this is happening. Here he is in front of the Knesset in Israel talking about how he's going to work in America to shut down criticism.
You must take this deadly seriously. Pushing extremists off Wikipedia might not seem equal to the challenge of pushing Hezbollah north of the Litani River. Capturing TikTok might seem less meaningful than holding on to Mount Hermon.
Capturing TikTok? Dude, this is a corporate capture, Jewish takeover of one of the biggest social media video sites in the world.
Capturing TikTok might seem less meaningful than holding on to Mount Hermon. Libelous tweets certainly might seem less deadly than missiles from Yemen. But this is urgent because the next war will be decided based on how Israel and its allies perform online as much as offline.
Info war. It is a big info war for them. They have declared war on Amalek, on Edom, on anybody that stands in the way of the Yahweh, Judeo-Torah, Zionist agenda, Moshiach agenda.
But we need to talk about TikTok.
These are all before TikTok was forced to sell, by the way. This is who's completely behind this. This is who this is for. It's not to stop China from, corrupting our youth. That's just what they say. They didn't care about that for years until the Jews were mad about it.
But we need to talk about TikTok. TikTok, if you will, it is the 24/7 news channel of so many of our young people, and it's like Al Jazeera on steroids.
What I remember of TikTok is it's pure Judeo-Christian goy slop. It's kosher, it's stupid flat earth, kosher conspiracies. That's what goes most viral. It's rapture kooks. It's Bible prophecy people. It wasn't even just the fact that they didn't. We'll still have a lot of that stuff, I bet. That'll be all of the most popular videos. The controlled op goes nowhere, stuff that makes us look kooky type of stuff.
Amplifying and intensifying the anti-Semitism and the anti-Zionism with no repercussions. But we
no
need
repercussions.
to talk.
And many of these platforms, I mean,
in an environment where you have graduation speakers spreading blood libels, in an environment where you have
saying that she said that there's kids dying in Gaza. It's a blood libel. They get away with that blood libel because these Christians want to obsess over Jesus blood libels. So they get to play the victim, and then they get away with what they do in Gaza. That's why it gets so mad about me. It runs cover for them. They get to point at the Christians saying that they worship the devil and drink baby blood and kill Jesus and are cursed forever. And then they get the sympathy points, they get the victimhood, and then they get away with the action. They get away with murder in Gaza and elsewhere.
Social media.
Powerchat's not working, ABX89. I don't know what's up with that. For some reason, my thing's not updating on my screen either. Oh, actually, I turned it off. That's right. Here we go. Sorry. Hopefully it goes through now. That's what the problem was.
Influencers making baseless claims. People like Hassan Piker over on Twitch or there's others on TikTok and Instagram saying wild, baseless things about Jews, about Zionists, about Israelis. Vlad, I worry that this could even get worse. So I think we really need tech platforms to step up and stop, lifting up these intemperate voices. We need elected officials to speak out. We need people from
digital pogroms, internet holocaust. His book, it could happen here. It could happen here. The narrative we're seeing everywhere. We're just like 1930s Germany. Trump's Hitler. It's white nationalists. It's fascism. That's the narrative everywhere. More anti-Semitism than all-time record-breaking history. That's the narrative that the mainstream press is perpetuating everywhere. That's how the history books are going to be written.
All walks of life to stand with their Jewish friends and neighbors today, maybe show up for their own walk next weekend and say we won't be intimidated by the bigots.
Because I look at social media now, and many of these platforms, I mean, the dominant characteristic that I see is what you're describing: anti-Semitism, racism, misogyny, and the spread of misinformation. So how to combat that? What is the ADL doing? I mean, are you having conversations with the leaders of these companies to at least try to remove that nefarious content from their platforms?
Yeah, Vlad, we've talked about this before over the years. I think social media is a super spreader, as you said, of anti-Semitism and racism and all kinds of hate. Unfortunately, companies like X and Meta have retreated from content moderation in recent months, introducing these community notes, which is by no means a panacea. I mean, Vlad, it's a little crazy that the most sophisticated, profitable companies on the planet Earth are outsourcing content moderation to the users. So yeah, we are seeing a rampant, just explosion of hate. We are not only talking to the companies themselves, we're talking to the regulators. I mean, I think it is time for government to step up here. These companies are, they say too big to fail. These companies are too big to just leave alone. I mean, they're almost monopolistic. And again, they allow for this unmitigated rise of the kind of hate that explodes in real life, just like you're seeing on the screen. So yeah, it is time for these companies to demonstrate the same kind of accountability that we see in other media businesses and simply, knock the Nazis, knock the anti-Zionists off the platform once and for all.
Knock the anti-Zionists off the platform. Wow. Here's the leaked audio. I think that they weren't talking so publicly about TikTok until after, because this was like a big deal when this one came out, when it was leaked. Of him talking about losing the youth because of TikTok.
But I also want to point out that we have a major generational problem. All the polling I've seen.
They have a generational problem too, because a lot of the younger generations aren't Christian. There's very few Christian Zionists, like boomer Israel lovers in young people. Also plays a factor in this.
Generational problem. All the polling I've seen, ADL's polling, ICC's polling, independent polling, suggests this is not a left-right gap, folks. The issue in the United States of support for Israel is not left and right. It is young and old. And the numbers of young people who think that Hamas's, massacre was justified is shockingly and terrifyingly high. And so we really have a TikTok problem, a Gen Z problem, that our community needs to put the same brains that gave us Taglit, the same brains that gave us all these other amazing innovations, need to put our energy toward this.
And then what do you say in front of the Knesset? They got to put the genius of the pagers to work against anti-Semitism as well. Amazing.
To start doing things differently. And the same goes here in Israel. This means that the problem won't be solved by yet another new Knesset task force. It won't be solved by the government just throwing money at the problem. It won't be solved by the IDF spokesperson's unit issuing updated talking points or suddenly using TikTok. Like us in America, you need to adopt new strategies, to experiment with creative tactics, to study the results and scale what works. Maybe it's a whole new IDF unit, call it 8300, to lead this fight. But we need the kind of genius that manufactured Apollo gold pagers and infiltrated Hezbollah for over a decade to prepare for this battle. We need the kind of courage that executed.
Yeah. Exactly. They need the genius like the explosive pagers to fight the anti-Semites in America and take over TikTok.
Because again, like we've been chasing this left-right divide. It's the wrong game. The real game is the next generation, and the Hamas and their accomplices, the useful idiots in the West, are falling in line in ways that are terrifying. Lastly, I'll just say, we saw a
You all got to fall in line with the Jews, otherwise you're Amalek and you'll be destroyed.
dramatic change in the language of the activists here in America on October the 8th. The language of groups that we've long tracked who've long been problematic, like Students for Justice in Palestine and Jewish Voices for Peace. They flipped like this and went to like Iranian propaganda. The language I could show you from their toolkits, because our analysts are in their groups. We saw this again on October the 8th. It was that fast. Like the language in their toolkits was all about the Zionist entity and lots of other language that we recognized from Iranian propaganda. We think there's something more to this that's below the waterline. It's the young generation we need to be focusing energy on. There's something happening with Iran and how it's now their propaganda and their language and their tactics seem to be bleeding into the American kind of activist space in ways that are very different than NIAC and very, very problematic.
Time since we started this year, ADL's Global 100 survey of anti-Semitic attitudes around the world found a 46% shift. 46% of the adult population, 2.2 billion people, harbor elevated levels of anti-Semitism. That's nearly double the rate that we saw a decade ago. For the first time since we started tracking these attitudes in the 1960s, the younger generation is more likely to hold elevated anti-Jewish views than their parents or grandparents.
Powerchat is broken.
The younger generation is more likely to be anti-Semitic than the older one. This year,
half the world anti-Semitism exploding like never before. The narrative we see everywhere. We're inundated with it. Here he is bragging about control over the ADL.
Apple. So literally,
ADL controlling social media.
So literally, we opened a center in Silicon Valley back in 2017. And the woman who runs it, she's an ex-Facebook executive.
Back in 2017, I was talking about that, what he's just talking about, the hate speech lab that they did in social media. I was talking about it all the time. And then they cracked down. I got banned, everybody. And then now they got all these new people. Now the people they're tracking, the top 10 biggest people on X, none of those people were around talking about Jews in 2017 when they first started rolling this out. A lot of these people we'll get to in a second. Not even until October 7th did they ever start saying anything.
I have software engineers and data scientists working at ADL. We're monitoring all this stuff, and we're working with all the platforms, by the way, Google and YouTube and Meta and Twitter and Reddit and Steam and Amazon, all these companies, from like Apple to Zoom. We work with all of them, okay? That's relevant because we've been working with Twitter now since it was founded. We worked with the old regime, working with the new regime. So literally, we opened a center in Silicon Valley back in 2017. And the woman who runs it, she's next.
Israeli politician declares the next step is taking over, I think, TikTok and X and shutting down all the propaganda.
The next thing I will do
we will do is to put restriction on the social media in a way that not allowed to make brutal propaganda in the social media.
Shut down social media. No propaganda. Only they can do propaganda. Like how they're paying $7,000, it's being reported, for one tweet to some of these pro-Israel influencers.
Because this is a worldwide problem. And it should be initiated by the United States of America, the place where all the big firms is settled. Facebook and X and all the rest. This is a major problem for democracy all over the globe. And we need to treat it seriously.
But we got to save democracy by censoring free speech, censoring the people. Netanyahu talked about how important it was, their war, their takeover of TikTok, and then now he's moved the sites onto X, and then we'll segue onto the X takeover. This was him the other day with their pro-Israel influencers meeting.
Christian influencers, okay. You said, we talked about the woke right, and you said, I call it the woke Reich. That's a brilliant observation. The woke Reich, because these people, you know, they're not any different from the woke left. I mean, they're insane. They're loonies. But they're actually meeting on some of the things. And what we have to do is we have to secure that part of the base of our support in the United States. That is being challenged systematically. A lot of this is done with money. Money of NGOs, vast. Money of governments, vaster. Okay? We have to fight back. How do we fight back? Our influencers. I think you should also talk to them if you have a chance. To that.
Our influencers. Charlie Kirk, in his letter to Netanyahu, he wrote that he was a surrogate of Israel, like an Israeli agent.
That community, they're very important.
Christian agent of Israel.
We're going to have to use the tools of battle. You know, the weapons change over time. You can't fight today with swords. That doesn't work very well, okay? And you can't fight with cavalry. That doesn't work very well. And you have these new things, you know, like drones, things like that. I won't get into that. But we have to fight with the weapons that apply to the battlefields in which we're engaged. And the most important ones are the social media. And the most important purchase that is going on right now is
Dude, he's like, oh my God, you're supposed to be, he's talking to the TikTok influencers, he thinks. He goes, what's the most important purchase? And none of them get the answer right, that they're taking over TikTok.
TikTok, number one. And I hope it goes through because it can be consequential. The other one, what's the other one that's most important? X. That's very good. And, you know, so we have to talk to Elon. He's not an enemy. He's a friend. We should talk to him. Now, if we can get those two things, we get a lot. And I could go on other things, but that's not.
You get a lot. You get those two things, you could basically run the internet. You get those two things.
We have to fight the fight, okay? To give direction to the Jewish people and give direction to our non-Jewish friends or those who could be our Jewish our friends. Are we going to succeed with everyone? No. Will there be a strong counterpart? Yes.
Telling us what their plan is. Oh, God, he's going to sneeze. Oh, I've been having sneezing fix for days. So they forced the sale of TikTok to Larry Ellison. This one's got 31,000 likes. And then immediately begin the pressure campaign on X. I was wondering where this big pressure campaign was. We were like, where's the ADL? Why are they not attacking X? And then all in unison, Musk is X's go-to platform for anti-Semitism. CNN. Jewish Council for Public Affairs. Exposed. Clever. Jerusalem Post. X is among the most effective tools for spreading anti-Semitism in history. Research finds. I told everybody that the hammer was coming. I told you that all of this explosion of low IQ, Jews killed Jesus, synagogue of Satan shit was going to be used as the pretext to create the narrative and have the big shutdown. Need More Ammo says, let's go. Jewish Insider, study anti-Semitism thriving in plain sight. X is a major hub for anti-Semitic content. And this is probably true, there is probably more anti-Semitism on the internet, and because it's on the internet more than anything throughout history ever. The research identified 600,000 anti-Semitic posts between February 1st and January 31st. That's such a weird time frame, which combined were viewed 193 million times. Anti-Semitic posts like Jewish control or power conspiracies get lumped in with they're satanic, they drink baby blood, and they killed God, and Holocaust denial. These posts also accounted for 73% of all likes. How many times have I warned that they're going to use the Christian opposition to Jews to justify the takedown, to run cover for their power, to run cover for the victimhood? These guys that we'll see on the list, Dan Bilzerian, Stu Peters, Jake Shields, are some of the biggest ones on the top 10. Let's Go Brandon, some of the worst. We Was Hebrews, Jesus Isn't Jewish, Christian controlled slop on the internet. None of these big accounts are exposing that Jesus is a myth. None of them are exposing that Torah is fake. It's all perpetuating the controlled Christian anti-Semitism. Stu Peters, and also a lot of these people on the list, anonymous. A lot of the people on this list weren't talking about Jews online more than a few years ago. They're all newbies dominating the narrative and being used as the pretext for the big crackdown that's coming, to discredit all the opposition and make it retarded and make it rooted in Christianity and religion so that it can be discredited and the hammer can drop. That's what's happening. Here's the list. Stu Peters, number 1. The flat earth kook, the Jews killed Jesus kook, the guy the alcoholic that doesn't know anything about the Bible, that's got a long history of crimes, that's shilling a crypto scam with a cross in it. Number 1. The number 1 voice, the Duganist. All these anti-Semites, and they're all promoting the God of the Jews. They all believe in the Bible. Besides Jake, maybe. But Jake sells Jesus shirts and says Christ is king, thinking that he's owning the Jews doing it. Every one of these promoting the Christian controlled op stuff that's probably getting botted and artificially boosted so that they can run articles about all the satanic anti-Semitic conspiracies about Jews, and then have the headlines for the history books, the narrative of the rising anti-Semitism in Edom, and then the justification for the big crackdown, which you don't think that they're going to be able to twist Elon's arm and shut all this down in the blink of an eye? Like a flip of a switch. And then it's, all the red pilling, the Overton window, the great noticing, all down. And what are you noticing when you're worshiping Yahweh? Stu Peters is bragging about being number 1 on the list.
Yours truly, this is breaking right now. But I need to bring this to you. You'll find this over at CN.
When this is the leader and this is the general, we're screwed. We're screwed. The guy that started talking about Jews a couple years ago, leading the charge with they're Khazarians and they killed Jesus and they drink baby blood and they're the synagogue of Satan, and all of the kosher controlled op talking points leading the narrative, and they're going to lose. They're just going to take the L. They're not going to lead us to victory. They're going to lead us to destruction. This guy is going to lead us to discredited destruction.
This is breaking right now. But I need to bring this to you. You'll find this over at CNN. Apparently, some Jews somewhere or a group of Jews performed a study. It's now been published at CNN, analyzing the top anti-Semitic influencers on all of the internet. And part of this reads, quote, in total, the top 10 influencers amassed 1,344,908 likes across 675 posts. Examples of anti-Semitic posts from identified influencers can be found at the end of the...
Just thousands of... Elon blocked the thing so you can't see what's bots and what's not bots. And we got just thousands of... every time I see these guys post and it goes super viral, I'll go and look at the retweets, and it'll just be... It looks like fake after account after another, almost every one of them.
At the end of this report, which is... It's basically like a Hall of Fame for the best posts ever. The table lists the top 10 anti-Semitism influencers alongside their attributes, the biggest on X, if they're verified or not, if they have subscription status, and whether or not they have ads. So let's go ahead and pull out the results. You'll find these at CNN. There it is. And there it is, your boy right at the top, Real Stu Peters. The data is in. It's indisputable. Yeah. There it is.
There it is. The leader is the guy that believes in Tartaria and snake venom in the water, and the Jews are Khazarians, and Jesus wasn't Jewish. And what is his solution? Oh, we all got to worship the Jewish Messiah. That's leading the opposition.
Yours truly.
So, the low IQ Christian anti-Semitism, it's so hot right now. Say Jesus wasn't Jewish, say Jews killed Jesus, tens of thousands of likes. Meanwhile, in the churches and the positions of power, you're not even on the radar as 0.0001% of actual Christians and real Christians. All they're doing is discrediting the opposition and keeping everybody on the kosher Christ cope plantation. Prophecy plantation.
Officially the most influential JQ account on all of the planet. On all of the planet, in the entire world, the #1 anti-Semitic influencer on the internet is yours truly. And it's been a lot of heavy lifting, and there's been certain sacrifices.
Hey, it is working.
Counter Signal sent $5 on Rumble.
Not everybody's saying it's broken.
Anti-Semitic accounts are all newbies.
Yep.
They are all class of October 7th and know very little about the issue of Jews. If they didn't talk about JQ before Oct 7th, I don't trust them.
Yep. They're brand new, falling down the rabbit hole, believing every kooky thing that's spread on the internet, and then now they're leading the charge and representing the opposition, which is why we're losing. Thanks, Night Nation Review, by the way. I guess it works for Rumble, but straight through Powerchat's not working. I'm hearing there's Powerchat issues, but good to see that's at least on. Yeah, all these guys that brand new. Meanwhile, there were lots of people talking about it before October 7th that have way better takes and don't believe all the kooky shit, discrediting shit. But now it's the lunatics are running the asylum. Most people out there are low IQ and fall for clickbait and sensational shit. So that's the influencers that peddle that is what gets boosted. And I don't believe for a second that there's not Israeli and Russian and whatever else bots propping up the low IQ stuff.
Come along with that. But, it's really nice to be notated in history. It's really nice. And I do have an asterisk there next to verified, and that it says at the bottom, the account Real Stu Peters lost his verification and subscriptions. Yeah, you're damn right I did. Who are some of the others that were on that? Put that back up there. Who are some of the others there? There's Dan Bilzerian. Let's go Brando 45. There's my boy Jake Shields. Look at that. Great company. There are still few good men left among us, and they are there on that list.
Good men. Dude, this guy too, the flaming Christian idiot, Let's Go Brandon. He's the one that would steal a bunch of our rabbi compilations and post, has me blocked, promotes the dumbest of the dumb conspiracies about Jews. That's what's leading the charge. That's why we're discredited. That's why we're going to lose, because of these idiots, because of these controlled opposition idiots. Besides Jake. Jake is cool. He had me on recently. Jake is cool. I want to say that. Here's some of the highlights from Stu Peters. And yes, they do highlight the Jews killing Jesus because it's discrediting and it works for them. That's why Jonathan Greenblatt says this.
Anti-Semitism is a bit of like a virus. And like some viruses, it exists in the kind of body politic and it's dormant, like chickenpox. Mm-hmm. You get chickenpox as a young person, and then after the kind of inflammation subsides, it's still in you. And it can manifest again when you're older because of stress or age as shingles. Although you can get inoculated and you can prevent that from happening. So I think anti-Semitism is similar. It's like this contagion. It's as old as time, right? We faced it for thousands of years. First it was, after the death of Christ, there were these accusations that the Jews killed Christ and that the Jews weren't a real religion because we didn't accept Christ.
See? They highlight this all the time. All the time. Because it makes you look silly.
This is some awareness.
And they are going to use this clause, this Jews kill Jesus clause, to convince people to pass these hate speech laws. Here we go.
There is one thing that is uniting the left and the right, and that is Jews. This is not just a problem on the left. Go look what's going on social media on the woke right. It isn't just some Nazis in a basement anymore. Okay? Marjorie Taylor Greene is holding up the Anti-Semitism Awareness Act because she wants to be able to say the Jews killed Jesus.
See, people now they have this narrative. People oppose anti-Semitism laws because they want to blame Jews for killing Jesus. And people hear that and go, oh, that's awful. Pass. Go ahead. Censor those psychotic bigots. That's how the average person will think. That's what the average Christian will want to do. Let's see some other highlights from Stu Peters, the world leader in anti-Semitism. Your people killed our savior. Fuck off. 86,000 likes. And then Donnie owns him right here so simply. Wasn't that not God's plan? You killed the Messiah according to their plan, to God's plan, and fulfilled the prophecies and saved our souls and gave us the magic blood.
Jocelyn 8 sent $5 on Rumble. We are so lucky to have Adam as a rare voice of reason in this ultra-kosher world. Would be totally blackpilled without this community. Green heart emoji.
Me too. If I wasn't online and I was just watching the state of affairs and the type of discourse happening online, I would tune out. Probably that's what I would do. Would not be spending all my time watching idiots like Stu Peters and Let's Go Brandon. You killed God. Your people killed God. 86,000 likes for Jews as supernatural God slayers. Rejecting them. Who cares if they rejected the Messiah? If it were even true, they really killed some rabbi that was telling them they weren't Jewing right. The Messiah is meant to conquer the world. Just because they reject him doesn't make you want to worship them. If you care about Jews, who the Messiah is, you've already lost the game before it started. If you care about who the Messiah is, you've already lost. You've already forfeited. 4,000 likes. Remember that time the Jews thought they killed Christ, but he actually defeated death and rose 3 days later? Jews are so pissed about that one. No, they're not. They're laughing and boasting that Jesus Judaized the world. Christians are completely kosher and their greatest allies and advocates and supporters. There's rabbis all over the internet for 1,000 years laughing and boasting and bragging about how all the world believes in the God of Israel now and worships a Jew. Health Ranger, read about it somewhere. Oh, yeah, I read about it in a book.
I read about it in a book.
In a book written by Jews, in a fake mythical fairy tale written by Jews. Oh, my magical Jew was born a virgin and rose from the dead. Oh, I'm sure it did. This is leading the charge. This is why we're losing, and the Jews are going to win. Because of this shit right here, I'm telling you. You'll see. You will see. Are you going to listen to Stu, who thinks the Earth's flat and there's a firmament and doesn't understand why the moon can be visible during the daytime, sometimes during the day? You going to trust this guy that just started talking about Jews and believe in every kooky thing on the internet? Or somebody that's been talking about it 10 years? Or even people way longer than me that have been talking about this stuff? Who are you going to follow? Your people literally killed Christ. His blood is on your hands. Are you retarded? Are you retarded? Do you think it's a winning strategy to say Jews have a blood curse? All Jews are cursed because of something a couple Jews, according to a story, did 2,000 years ago? Do you not see how most people see this? How most Christians see this? Dude, Jesus being at the center and the front of the opposition of Jews is why we lose. Meanwhile, all of the biggest pro-Israel shills, all the Netanyahu influencers, they're all promoting Jesus. They're all promoting Christianity. And then even the opposition that's leading the opposition also promotes Jesus, a fake delusional version of Jesus that he's a white Aryan anti-Semite that wasn't Jewish. This is how much of a grift it is, too. Like this post if you know that Jews killed Jesus, and we'll give you a free giveaway. Give us Barabbas. It's literally that Stu's such an idiot, and he's never read any books about origins of Christianity. He probably has no clue that the whole releasing of Barabbas is just a fictional story retelling Yom Kippur, how they have the scapegoat. Probably doesn't even know that. Probably doesn't even know what the scapegoat is. Probably has no clue that Barabbas means son of the Father. And some early text said Jesus, son of the Father. So you had two Jesuses. When we have a guy as stupid as Stu leading the charge against the Jews, we're cooked. It's over.
Jocelyn 8
We
sent
deserve to
$5
lose.
on Rumble.
With Stu.
Health Ranger, Mike Adams, has
Yeah.
always been so right with his takes, but since Charlie Kirk has now been sucked into this mania with the rest of the sheep, disappointing.
He's always sucked. He's always sucked. He's a Christ brain kook. I remember watching him for years on InfoWars. He was like a fill-in host on InfoWars, and he has gone total Christ-hard. And it's huge. Oh, both of these guys just happen to be huge Russia shills, too. Wonder if that has anything to do with it. Hey, dude, CMKZ Shadow, shut up or I'm going to block you. I've never seen you here before. NNR has been here for years. He's cool. He had me on, and you're going to sit in here. Another word attacking Night Nation Review, and you're banned. You guys got that, mods? Shut up. And I'm not even kidding. One more tweet about it, and you're gone. Here's Tucker. He thinks the same thing. What is this other clip? About the schizo anti-Semitism online. He thinks it's being boosted too.
Semitic comment about, and that suits the Israelis just fine. And if you're wondering why there's an awful lot of lunatic anti-Semitic comment about Israel online, you have to wonder how much of that is organic. Some of it, of course, there are always haters, but how much of it is not organic at all? How much of that, the lunatic, all Jews are evil, how much of that?
They're all cursed. They're all cursed for killing God. They're Nephilim, Edomite, Satan's children. That's what's boosted, and then because that's boosted and seems popular, it incentivizes other influencers to post that type of stuff, and it creates a snowball effect. And then people like the herd and the sheep, they see, oh, that's what all the big influencers are saying. That's what the echo chamber is saying. So they think, oh, it must be true, and that's how they artificially and inorganically boost this kooky stuff. Tucker is completely right about this.
It's organic. Some of it, of course, there are always haters. But how much of it is not organic at all? How much of that, the lunatic, all Jews are evil, how much of that is being ginned up on purpose to make legitimate questions about the U.S. government's relationship with the government of Israel seem like crackpot stuff, like hate, like David Duke level lunacy? Probably some, because it serves their interests. Now
there's stuff way worse than David Duke out there. Stu Peters is light years worse than anything David Duke says, from what I've seen.
Is a criticism of the state of Israel and its incredibly sophisticated propaganda campaign, which, again, the rest of us have been marinating in for a long time.
Hey, make the opposition look like Christian retards. Great idea.
But the true villain...
Yeah, that's what I was just saying. Yeah, David Duke is way more coherent than any of this stuff.
Here, I would argue, is not the state of Israel, the Jews. It's the United States. It's our leaders who are putting up with this. Israel is a small country with very limited resources, and it is doing its best to serve its own interests. You'd think every country would act that way, and most do. But there are some that don't, and ours would top that list. And so the true shame here, the actual villain in this story, is the leadership of the United States that is putting up with serial humiliation for decades. And for what reason? So if there's...
Okay, we got another one from... And then what else does Tucker say, too? The people that are obsessed and... I shouldn't say obsessed with Jews, but they frame it as mental illness.
Everybody on, your different reasons. And that's just not my worldview. I don't think everything's about Jews. Like, I have whole periods of my day where I don't brood about Jews. I mean, it's so crazy. And it's actually the definition of craziness. You like see things that aren't there. If I was trying to make...
And these e-crusaders, in a way, they do worship Jews. They worship Jews by hating them as the central villains in their theology. Like, the Jews are the Christ killers, but they also gave you your Messiah. They're supposed to reject God until the end times. You're putting them on a pedestal and elevating them as like Satan's children, but playing a crucial role in God's plan. Oh, they have black magic, and they have they're sorcerers, and they're witches, and they have magical powers. And they're building the Antichrist temple, but you need that for Jesus to return. Just every aspect of it is just enabling the whole Judeo paradigm.
Make a point about Israel, I would just say it. Why wouldn't I? That's the last thing I intended to do. And I think it's very bad for your soul to become obsessed either because of hate or because of ethno-narcissism. I mean, both are kind of the same thing. They're twins with an ethnic group. It's great. Like, I think they're both really sick and need to pull back from this. And you do see it a lot online where everybody on, your X feed is talking about the Jews. How is that good? It's not good for the Jews. It's not good for anybody else. It's all kind of a species of mental illness. And because it doesn't reflect reality, like in real life, I have a million interests and concerns. In fact, almost all of them that have nothing to do with Jews.
He's
or
just
Israel,
sweeping
or,
at
like,
this
it's just
point,
not
though.
an obsession for me at all. But
At all. I don't care at all. No, that's so weak. But the point I'm trying to make, though, is that normie people that watch Tucker Carlson, when they see Stu Peters and these guys on this top 10 list talk, they think you're mentally ill. They think you're evil. They feel sympathy for the Jews. This is the way it plays out, and this is the role as the villains that these guys are playing to the people that depend on having a villain that hates them. Like, look at this. Look at this guy on with
Well, through
Myron
history, they've
in
been
Fresh and Fit. bragging that they expelled Jews and that Catholics are the biggest threat to Jews because they expelled them over blood libel, child sacrifice, and the Talmud saying something mean about Jesus. You think this is a win, bragging about this, reinforcing the Jewish victimhood and making most people think, whoa, that's insane. You kicked out all Jews because of an accusation of like one kid being killed? All the Jews are kicked out. Christians, these e-crusaders bragging about this, like, I don't know if they lack the self-awareness that they don't see how this comes off. That you're reinforcing, you're solidifying the Jewish victimhood. Oh, we kicked them out of 100 countries because they killed Jesus. The average person hears that and thinks, oh, well, the Christians have been psychos. Yeah, they burn people at the stake too for not believing in Jesus. Christians play the evil antithesis in the Jewish paradigm in the real world, and then the Jews play it in the fictional world of the story. Christianity has killed more whites than Jews, absolutely.
So that has gotten them expelled.
Well, through history, they've been the one that have kicked them out of a lot of places.
Yeah, the biggest threat would be Catholics.
Yeah. Now,
Islam's kind of like, it's there, but it's not like as bad as Catholics would be for them.
Mike, I know you're one of our. We got a guy here that's like, pretty well versed in it. So
we all got to be Catholics. There's nothing the Jews hate more than a bunch of people believing in the King of the Jews. Nothing they hate more than the kosher Pope. Nothing the Jews hate more than Vatican II Catholicism.
But he's off camera. Mike, what would you say are the top three reasons why Catholics have exiled the Jews so many different times? Top three.
Well,
answer.
The biggest one, the Jews call it a blood libel, but it's actually, I believe it's true, but there used to be canonized saints in the Catholic Church that were young children that Jewish people would kidnap and then torture to death as like a ritual sacrifice. And that's what when they use the term blood libel, like if you say, oh, Israel's doing a genocide in Palestine right now, they say that's...
Do you think what percentage of people, average people, would listen to this and think, that sounds like a justified reason? You believe some Jews, assuming it's true, some Jews killed a kid, some Jew killed a kid 500 years ago, and that's going to be the issue you want to talk about all the time? How many Christians have killed kids in that amount of time? How many psycho Christians have done weird shit and done some weird sacrifice to a kid or raped a kid? How many times has that happened as well? Are we going to kick the Christians out because a Catholic priest raped a kid? This is the number one thing. Hey, they must have done something really bad. What was it? Well, we think that like they killed one kid 500 years ago. Do you think that's the big W? That's the justification?
The blood libel. Basically, if you accuse them of doing anything immoral, they'll call it a blood libel, whether they're doing it or not. And that's what that is referring to, is this ancient medieval practice of the Jews ritually sacrificing Christian children. So that has gotten them...
You look into the evidence for these things, and it was like they accused them of it. Do you have anything in Judaism, anything in the Talmud or Zohar where it talks about the ritual of killing a kid or drinking their blood? Or does the Torah say that they're prohibited from drinking blood or consuming any blood of an animal? Like, is there any evidence that this is going on widespread in synagogues all over the world throughout history? Or is it just like Charlie Kirk? Charlie Kirk gets killed and immediately the internet says Israel did it, and then they canonize him as a saint and the Jews did it for all time. Tucker Carlson said it was the Jews that were eating hummus and killed Jesus, just like Charlie Kirk. Like, this is what we're talking about. This is the best argument 500 years ago. A Jew got accused of killing a kid. So they're kicked out 100 times because of that. Really? And then even Myron goes, whoa, I thought you were going to say usury, which is one of the bigger reasons, probably the biggest reason. Bragging about persecuting Jews because they don't believe in Jesus is not a win. It's a win for the Jews. All the Christians that brag about that, it's a win for the Jews every time you do that. Do you not get that? It's not just the e-crusaders that brag about the expulsions. The Jews always bring up the expulsions.
Caden 13 sent $5 on Rumble. The Catholic versus Protestant 30 Years' War killed between 4 and 12 million Germans. That was 40 to 50% of the German population at the time. Christianity is the most anti-European ideology ever formulated.
Dude, so many people have killed, so many Europeans have killed each other in the name of Jesus. Just, was it last stream? We were playing the propaganda videos from Ukraine, the Russian, the Eastern Orthodox Church in Ukraine, the Russian Orthodox Church in Russia, their propaganda war videos, and then the American war videos. Every one of them is asking for blessings and praying to the same Moshiach and Jewish God of Israel. And still today, the Crusades, the Northern Crusades against all the pagans, how many pagans were killed for the Jewish Messiah throughout history?
Expelled from multiple countries.
You say that's the top reason over usury and everything else?
Yeah, I mean, usury is a
retarded.
big one. You know, they also were known to be like sorcerer, witchcraft types. That's it's a stereotype.
Yeah, they got kicked out because they do magical stuff. They're sorcerers. They do spells and magic. They got kicked out for magic and drinking baby blood. You guys sound insane. Everybody thinks you're unhinged psychos when this is what your problems are. Well, they killed God, they drink baby blood, and they have magical powers, so we kicked them out. It's like we've had 2,000 years, we've had 1,700 years of Christianity, and Jews are more powerful than ever. Do the math. How is that working out?
Lots of crazy shit for a long time.
Yeah, they drink blood and they have magical powers.
Yeah, I mean, usury is a big one. You know, they also were known to be like sorcerer.
Yeah, it was the Catholic Church that gave them the monopoly on usury, by the way.
Gotten them expelled from multiple countries.
You say that's the top reason over usury and everything else?
Yeah, I mean, usury is a big one. You know, they also were known to be like sorcerer, witchcraft types. That's it's a stereotype.
Been doing lots of crazy shit for a long time. There was a Jew that converted.
Yeah, we kicked them out because they did magic tricks. We kicked them out because they're witches and sorcerers and did see dumb fuck insights, right? Sorceries, right? See how bad this comes off? Well, hey, you kicked them out of all your countries? They must have done something really bad. Yeah, they did magic and drink and killed a kid once. They burn red heifers and swing chickens. He's 5'6". Yeah, I know he's pretty small guy.
To Catholicism and blew the whistle on the Talmud. When was that?
That was I'm gonna get the year wrong. I want to say it's in like the 1500s, but I could be off on that. But that was
and basically the blood libel was sacrificing Catholic children.
Yeah, and but when this Jewish convert to Catholicism in France, he blew the whistle on the Talmud to the King of France,
Jacob Frank,
and this
right?
led to something called the Disputation of Paris, where for the first time ever, the Jews were forced to defend the writings of the Talmud publicly in front of Christians, and they had never had to do this before. They're very secretive, and so obviously the Catholic priests were asking them, you know, it says Jesus is boiling in hell in excrement. What do you have to say about that? And the best they could come up with, different Jesus, not your Jesus. It was that's their literal excuse. So obviously no one was buying it, and then this led to a mass burning of Talmuds in France, and then they were kicked out of the country.
Just like they burned all the pagan documents that were exposing Christianity as fake and Jewish. Just like that. They would burn. The Christians would burn my YouTube channel down if they could. In fact, they do organize and mass flag me and us. Shut up, Officer Nowpow. I've never promoted Planet Nibiru and Babylon X conspiracies. Get the fuck out of here. Fucking retard. Never promoted either one of those. Not even close. Maybe you're mixing me up with somebody else or something. So yeah, we kicked them out because they have magical powers and they drink baby blood and they said something, one of their books said something mean about Jesus. Yeah, totally justified. Huge W, guys. Yeah, we all got to be Catholic. Nothing the Jews hate more than that. Yeah, it's been, what, 40, it's been decades, over 50 years, 60 years since Vatican II. Catholicism is begging for atonement and repentance and forgiveness and is allied with the Jews opposing anti-Semitism. But let's all just worship the Jesus harder and be Catholics. That'll save us from the Jews. Stupid. Promoting it. The only way to fight the Jews, there's nothing the Jews hate more than us believing their books and their covenant. And believing in Jewish messianism. It's just trash. Just trash that's destined to lose. Meanwhile, checking in on the Catholics, we're so spirit cooked. Checking in on the Catholics, Pope Leo XIV praying on a piece of ice for climate change, and some other clips from him that are cringe. This is
now like to
such a
invite you
joke.
to stand for the blessing of the waters.
Blessing of the waters. We got some holy water? No, we got holy ice. Dude, this is such a joke. It's like going in, just like they go and pray at the wall. Dude, let me bless this water. Let me bless this ice. So serious, so powerful.
Lord of life, bless this water. May it awaken our hearts, cleanse our indifference.
A good one, Jack Stone. No, you should be blessing ice, like the ones doing the deportations. Not that ice. Wrong ice. No, he'll condemn that ice and bless this ice.
Lord of life, bless this water. May it awaken our hearts, cleanse our indifference, soothe our grief, and renew our hope through Christ our Lord.
Amen. Nice small hat, Pope.
Lord, bless this assembly.
Dude, whose idea was this to bring it to bless some ice?
We engage in contain respect.
Please, ice, please, God, freeze thy waters and prevent global warming and the rising tides.
For all gathered here,
please stop the climate change and the ice melt, oh God.
Community, may we work towards a flourishing of all creation, held in being by our Creator, through Christ our Lord.
Uh-oh.
Creation.
It's a sign from God.
Conversion.
It's melting before our eyes.
To raising hope and to continuing to unfold a river of hope. We move from tears to hope, from grief to action. Let us speak our pledges. Each help us to unfold this river of hope. After each pledge, we invite you to sing the refrain, Laudate si, mi Signor, con tutte le tue creature.
Dude, this is the way. This is how we win, guys.
These words from
right
St.
here.
Francis' Canticle of the Creatures mean, praise be you, my Lord, with all your creatures.
Oh,
We will raise hope by demanding that leaders act with courage, not delay.
Now they're playing
Will
the
you
parachute
join with
game.
us?
Laudato si, mi Signore, con tutte le tue creature.
Oh my God.
Raise hope by opening spaces for dialogue, creative energy, and solutions that we haven't
What would we
yet
do without
dreamed of.
this?
Will you join us?
Laudato si, mi Signore, con tutte le tue creature. Laudato si, mi Signore.
Voices of hope rise.
Is that Arnold? Oh my God.
May these voices of hope rise as one. May they echo beyond
Dude, look at
this
that side
gathering
profile,
and
bro.
into every corner.
All these Catholics calling me Jewish, and that's what your Pope looks like? Come on.
Amen.
Now we got some other clips. He says he's pro-abortion and anti-death penalty. Great.
Someone who says I'm against abortion but says I'm in favor of the death penalty is not really pro-life. So someone who says that I'm against abortion but I'm in agreement with the inhuman treatment of immigrants who are in the United States, I don't know if that's pro-life. So
what do you mean inhumane treatment of immigrants? Like deporting them? Is deporting illegal immigrants inhumane according to this Pope? Probably. Yeah, he goes, oh, so he's speaking against the death penalty now? So now we have to forgive our enemies, forgive our murderers, and then pay for them to be in jail, pay for their meals and bed for the rest of their lives?
very complex issues. I don't know if anyone has all the truth on them, but I would ask first and foremost that there be greater respect for one another and that we search together both as human beings, in that case as American citizens or citizens of the state of Illinois, as well as Catholics, to say we need to really look closely at all of these ethical issues and to find the way forward as church. The church teaching on each one of those issues is very clear. Someone who says I'm against.
So it kind of sounds like he's saying he's pro-abortion and anti-death penalty. What is it?
With Cardinal Supich giving an award to
Spartan Sardaukar sent $5 on Rumble. Not enforcing the death penalty on corrupt traitor politicians is how we got to trans kids.
I'm pro-death penalty. Always have been.
Jocelyn 8 sent $5 on Rumble. Leviticus 10:12, Yahweh told Moses, none of you may eat blood, nor may any foreigner residing among you eat blood.
Yeah. What's your evidence that they drink baby blood? Do you have any good evidence? What, 500 years ago they claim somebody did it? Oh, people lie. You know that? Christians lie. Guess what? I can tell you from personal experience, Christians lie about all types of shit. They lie about me every day online for years.
Senator Durbin. Some people of faith are having a hard time with understanding this because he is or rather, he's for legalized abortion. How would you help people of faith right now decipher that, feel about that, and how do you feel about that?
I'm not terribly familiar with the particular case. I think that it's very important to look at the overall work that a senator has done during, if I'm not mistaken, 40 years of service in the United States Senate. I understand the difficulty and the tensions, but I think...
between the nose and the small hat, I mean, it's got to be rough to be a Christian these days.
As I myself have spoken in the past...
Jocelyn says, I think you're talking about Simon of Trent, right? There's no evidence and the church officially rescinded those claims. That's right. I remember reading that. And even the sainthood of the supposed victims. Well, they'll just say the Jews made them do that. But that is true. They did rescind the claims. And like they even officially say it was like rumors hurting us with the Zooms.
It's important to look at many issues that are related to what is the teaching of the church. Someone who says I'm against abortion but says I'm in favor of the death penalty is not really pro-life. So someone who says that I'm against abortion but I'm in agreement with the inhuman treatment of immigrants who are in the United States, I don't know if that's pro-life. So they're very
For all of them, the confessions were under torture. That is what I read too. I'm looking it up right now. That is what I remember seeing too when I looked into it.
I don't know if anyone has all the truth.
Okay, shoot. What's going on here? Let's see. Did the church rescind the Simon of Trent accusations? Yes, though the situation is complex. The church suppressed the cult veneration tied to the accusation and removed official recognition, but it did not issue a formal doctrinal rescinding. Was blamed on a local Jewish community. Jews were arrested, tortured, and some executed under the claim of ritual murder. They said he was a martyr, and over this time, and some Jews could have took a kid and killed him. I'm not even ruling that out. But does that mean that like Jews do that everywhere? If a Catholic kills a kid, does that mean Catholics everywhere, Catholicism kills kids in a ritual murder? I've never seen any evidence at all for them doing ritual murder of children. I will say the Yom Kippur ritual and the what is it? The Tsar of Russia, that might have been some ritual shit. I do know about that. There were cases, let's be real. Show me the cases. Jews were accusing human sacrifice even during pagan times, right? Let's see. Hold on. What else does it say here? But even historically, there were voices of doubt and papal interest in investigating the matter, including charges that trials were unjust or manipulated. Even the church said that it wasn't good trials. Nostra Aetate, Second Vatican Council, suppressed the cult, Simon of Trent and its veneration. Simon of Trent was removed from Roman martyrology, no longer listed as a saint. This is the best you got, too. This is the best you can do, is bring up something that not even for sure happened 500 years ago, and this is what you want to bring up and brag about. You're cooked. You're cooked. Of all the true things and provable things and contemporary things we could talk about, criticize Jews for, and these people want to talk about all of this Christian nonsense. In modern Catholic dialogue and historiography, the accusation is treated as false, anti-Semitic blood libel, and the church now rejects such slander. The church effectively disavowed and suppressed the cult about Simon of Trent. So that's the situation. This is the best you got. Your own church condemns it. It's over. It's over. Pope's Prayer Network. Let's see this one.
Let us pray that believers in different religious traditions might work together to defend and promote peace, justice, and human fraternity.
Dude, that's a good point, Doge Christ. Jews are killing 10 kids a day, or probably more, in Gaza. No need to go back 500 years and discredit. That's what I said earlier. They get away with what they're doing in Gaza because they can go, oh, that's just a blood libel, just like those other lies that these lunatics said. That's the point. It's like, what do Jews actually think about Gentiles? Is that they're impure and dirty and they're not even allowed to touch the grapes that they pick as slaves, but they're going to drink the blood? Does that make any sense? When consuming blood is prohibited as one of their top commandments?
Lord Jesus.
Meanwhile, the Christians drink blood. It's the Christians that drink the blood of Jesus. They're the blood drinkers. Jews are like, no, we can't be Christians. We can't consume blood. It's the Christians that drink the blood, actually. How about that? To make it even worse. The Pope does sound like the ADL. You're right.
Lord Jesus, you who in diversity are one and look lovingly at every person, help us to recognize ourselves as brothers and sisters, called to live, pray, work, and dream together.
Christians worship a God that sacrificed his son in a blood magic ritual sacrifice, by the way. So not exactly in the greatest position to condemn that practice anyway. Christians, like, don't throw stones when you live in a glass house type of situation.
We live in a world full of beauty, but also wounded by deep divisions. Sometimes religions, instead of uniting us, become a cause of confrontation. Give us your Spirit to purify our hearts, so that we may recognize what unites us, and from there, learn again how to listen and collaborate without destroying. May the concrete examples of peace, justice, and fraternity in religions inspire us to believe that it is possible to live and work together.
Dude, look at these guys. Yeah, I appeal to the church father that dresses up like a Pharisee like this. Like, we wouldn't have morals without this guy telling me what the Jewish Bible says. Dude, imagine taking orders or kissing the hand of a guy that dresses like this.
Beyond our differences. May religions not be used as weapons or walls, but rather lived as bridges and prophecy.
Yes, bridges and prophecy. Yes, with your rabbi friends, our rabbi prophecies, and your Muslim friends.
Making the dream of the common good credible, accompanying life,
dude,
sustaining hope, and being the yeast of unity in a fragmented world.
Catholic Church
Amen.
is turning so Noahide. Pope video. All right. We got E. Michael Jones, some more E. Michael Jones clips. He's in the thumbnail as well. This is why Catholicism is not the greatest fear of the Jews, because Catholics uphold and affirm the Jewish fairy tale magical books.
And all of history now becomes about Jewish.
Yeah, some opposition. Tell me, does this sound like good opposition to Yahwehism and Judaism and the Torah and prophecies about a Moshiach? Is this legit opposition?
Jewish identity began at the foot of the cross when they rejected Jesus Christ. Because up to that time, they were known as Hebrews. And Hebrews, and you and I both believe that the Torah is the Word of God. I believe that the Torah is the Word of God. We both believe that. But there's a crisis here. There's a turning point. And now these Jews...
That's the problem.
This is the real Messiah. It's not Shabbatai Zevi. And they got to make up their minds. Do we accept him or do we not accept him? And that was the turning point in history. And all of history now becomes a battle between the descendants of the Jews who accepted Jesus Christ as the Messiah and the descendants of the Jews who rejected Jesus Christ.
All of history is two Jewish sects fighting over who the Messiah is. Well put, E. Michael Jones. So you believe their fake book that says they're chosen. You worship the Jewish God that chose them. And you're happy with the fact that the last 1,700 years, the last 2,000 years, has been two Jewish sects fighting over who the Messiah is. Fighting over who the true Jews are. That's a sad, sad situation.
Forget about it. Messiah. It's not Shabbatai Zevi. And they got to make up their minds. Do we accept him or do we not accept him? And that was the turning point in history. And all of history now becomes a battle between the descendants of the Jews who accepted Jesus Christ as the Messiah and the descendants of the Jews who rejected Jesus Christ as the Messiah.
Yeah, full spectrum dominance. Two Jewish messianic sects fighting over who the true Jews are. That's what Christianity has brought us. Keeping the whole debate limited within the Abrahamic paradigm that the prophecies are real.
That is the pivot. That's the armature. That's the structure of human history since that point, all the way up to this day. to this day. And I said that the whole essence here comes down to logos. It's do you accept logos or do you reject logos? Jesus Christ is a logos incarnate, and the Jews chose Barabbas over Jesus Christ. And at that point, they became revolutionaries, and that's what they are ever since. I'm saying the one thing that unites this group of people.
But he believes in Khazarians, so they're not even the Jews that killed Jesus, and never even thought to himself how that refutes his whole shtick. Sad.
Is the Jewish revolutionary spirit.
So now if you don't worship the King of the Jews, he calls you Jewish. You're a Jew if you don't bow down to the King of the Jews. This is the true Catholic. I love all of the e-crusaders that want to act like they're all based in white nationalist trad cats, and that the only thing that can save Europe and white people is Catholicism, and there's nothing the Jews hate more than everybody believing in Jewish prophecy. He says this is the true Catholic position. Michael Jones is correctly stating it here, that racial ideology is antithetical to Catholic faith.
You go on Twitter, there's always something about Hitler on Twitter, because they want to drive this narrative back into the racial swamp that I extricated it from. And to be perfectly honest with you, there's a lot of similarities between Jews and Hitler. They both think that they are the master race, and Hitler probably got it from the Jews. There are lots of guys who did I just see doing this? I think it was Theo Vaughn. Was saying, we would do well to imitate the Jews because they really stick together, and we need to stick together. Who's the we? Is it white?
Don't stick together. Don't be tribal. It works for the Jews. It's how it gives the Jews the advantage, their unity, their strength, their pride, their tribalness. No, we can't mimic any of the things that they use for their advantage. No, we have to be universal. We have to turn the other cheek. We have to love our enemy. We have to forfeit this world to collect treasures in heaven. No, don't do any of the things that work. That's evil. That's Jewish.
Saying, we would do well to imitate the Jews because they really stick together, and we need to stick together. Who's the we? Is it?
Don't be nationalists. Jews are nationalists.
Who's the we here, paleface? What do you mean we, paleface? Who's the we? And this is the fund.
What's with the paleface? Who's this guy calling paleface? Is that what your black priest used to call you growing up? He called you. What are you saying pro-white stuff? Paleface.
Hey, who's the we? Is it white boys? Who's the we here, paleface? What do you mean we, paleface? Who's the we? And this is the fundamental battle over the internet right now. The algorithm is going to create the we. And the we is now white boys, or is this, that, and the other thing.
The algorithm promotes your whole stupid shtick that Jews are evil for killing Jesus. That's what the internet promotes. That retardation.
And that's precisely the struggle. White is representative of a racial ideology that is antithetical to the Catholic faith. You can't have a Catholic faith for one group of people. You want a one group of people religion? That's Jews, that's the Hebrews, that's the Jews,
That was everybody. Everybody had their ethnic gods. Every tribal people had their ethnic gods that was for them. Until Christianity came along. And then only the Jews kept their tribal god and ethnic identity. And it's worked for them. It's worked to their advantage. Pale horse face.
Antithetical to the Catholic faith. You can't have a Catholic faith for one group of people. You want a one group of people religion? That's Jews, that's the Hebrews, that's the Jews, that's the Nazis, and everybody longs for this ethnic religion. The Orthodox have their ethnic religion. That's not the universal church that Jesus Christ founded. It can't.
No, we all need to worship the Jewish Messiah. You can't have your ethnic gods. You can't have your ancestral traditions. No, everybody's got to worship the King of the Jews together, the true Jewish Messiah together. This is the Catholic solution. Listen up close, Tradcats, E-Crusader Tradcats. This is true Catholicism here. Listen to your elder. Listen to the guru. Most anti-Semitic Christian, by the way, who, like over the decades, the books and the influence and creating the narrative, most influential anti-Semitic Catholic right here, and this is his view on race.
And be that way.
Oh, dude, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to go anymore. I'm having a sneeze attack, and my shit's not loaded, and I got a bunch more tabs. Maybe I'll just have to come back tomorrow. And also, nobody's doing any super chats today or power chats today. I don't know if it's not working for some of you or something. It's having issues. People were saying that earlier. These Christian, here, Night Nation Review says, these Christian anti-Semites are always trying to steer whites away from nationalism and racial identity. Right. You know, Jesus is our tribe. Our identity is sheep and slaves of Zion. Oh, dude, are we going to do the transgender kid stuff? It's so much more time. We'll do this real quick. We'll cover the rest of the Christian stuff later. It won't take long. We're going to rapid fire through these clips. There's Elon and libs of TikTok, and Twitter is running a cancel Netflix campaign. Just wait and see. My daughters are never watching Netflix again. After this. After seeing this. I'm going to show all these to my wife. I'm going to show this segment to my wife.
Rooms for us. So
And it's going to be over. We're starting with the content for the older kids, and it's going to get worse and worse all the way down to Coco Melon. Thank you, Thor's
Rune sent $5 on Rumble. Thanks for the stream, Adam.
Thank you, Thor's Rune.
wow, this is for me. I know, right? The school totally customizes our rooms for us. It's so cozy. I'm Frankie. Pronouns they, them. I'm only 15 days old. Hi, Claudine. She, her. Nice to meet ya. My full name is Frankie Stein.
We're normalizing our pronouns when we introduce now. Thanks to Netflix, we're really trying to shove this down the throats. It's everywhere. The kids are being inundated with this by these child predators and social engineers.
Bifurcatia sent $10 on Rumble. What Thor's Rune said.
Yo, Beowulf!
Beowulf 914 sent $100 on Rumble.
Dude,
for
thanks,
next
buddy.
week dance class.
Very nice. Very nice, Beowulf. Thank you. You know, I can't wait for it. I love all her little dance recitals. She's doing a Halloween one for Ghostbusters. It's so cute. How I look forward to her little performances where she gets dressed up and does her little dances. It's the best. Thank you. I'm going to have 2 in dance class pretty soon here. My 1-year-old's already obsessed with putting on the old tap shoes. And every time the older sister practices her dances, the little one, the 1-year-old, does them too. Tries to do them. All right, so this is a boy dressed up as a girl. The nurse comes in and says he gives him a blue thing, and the little boy that thinks it's a girl goes, "I don't want the blue one. I'm a girl. I don't want the blue one." Reminds me of my daughter, though. She always, like, if she gets a balloon that's the wrong color, it'll be like she'll have a meltdown. This girl lecture white adults about their pronoun usage, really? Teaching them to be little snarky, degenerate, liberal leftists, policing people's pronouns. Ignoring children. Right, Carlin. Hey, parents, listen to the children. They've been taught correctly on these issues. Oh my gosh. That makes me want a Fed post. Here's another one. Transformers show on Netflix, pushing woke gender identity to 7-year-olds.
It's hard to know who's dangerous or not. That's true, though disappointing. Hey, it's okay. I know I'm safe when I'm with my friends or other non-binary people. Non-binary?
Oh my God. Now let's have the other kid explain to the robot now what it means to be non-binary. Netflix stock is crashing. Dude, I hope it's over for them. I mean, I like to have stuff to stream, though, like when I want to watch a movie or something. But, dude, this is...
Aren't female or male. Oh, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have assumed.
I always knew my pronouns felt right, but what a wonderful word for a wonderful experience.
No. Dude, Transformers are now... They're literally turning your kids trans with Transformers. Dude. Transformers are promoting transgender propaganda. Mega trans. So subversive. This is disgusting. This should be illegal. What did the Germans do with this stuff? This is the books that they were actually burning. It was this shit, right?
School knows, and everyone at home knows.
Another Netflix show.
It's not the park. It's
Trannyformers.
I'm trans, Norma. And everyone at school knows, and everyone at home knows. And being here, it's like a whole new place. I can just be Barney, and I can choose if and when I tell people. I've never been happier. And that's saying something when I spent today chased by terrifying zombie mascots. Pugsley reminded me how important it is to live your life without apology.
Dude, it's so disgusting how they're doing it to the children.
It's not the part.
So, I mean, I know, speaking of that, it's so obvious. How is this allowed to happen? Kids show Jurassic World on Netflix is pushing lesbian relationships now.
This is crazy. Folks, you need to check this out. We just sent our kids to bed. This Jurassic World was still playing, and we came across this. Kids are watching.
Netflix is not crashing. It's up over 60% this year and doubled in 5 years. Yo, Carlin, thank
sent
you.
$10 on Rumble. I was watching Antifa protest coverage in Portland last night, and there was a MAGA boomer there yelling, and an Antifa person yelled back, "Jesus was a brown Jew, check your DMs."
Okay, cool. That should be good. Brown Jew. I might cover it on the show tomorrow, though. I got some more Jesus stuff to do, and I got to wrap it after this Netflix thing. Okay, getting worse and worse. Targeting kids younger and younger. What the fuck? This is a scene from a movie on Netflix called Strawberry Shortcake. It promotes boys cross-dressing as girls to express themselves.
Berries.
Recommended for children of all ages.
It's time for Frightful 101. Welcome to your crash course in holiday self-expression. You look amazing. But
Hidden 13 sent $5 on Rumble. WWGD, what would the Germans do? Hey Adam, just curious, did you ever receive the book I sent you on the life of Zarathustra?
I think so. I haven't read it yet. It's yeah, I'm pretty sure I got that one. It's on my shelf. I'm not reading any new books until my book is done. You know, I've been saying that over and over again. So yes, I did get that. Thank you.
crash course in holiday self-expression. You look amazing.
Dude, the positive reinforcement. Edward Bernays' grandson runs Netflix. Yes, I know. The father of propaganda's grandson runs Netflix. Couldn't make it up.
What does this have to do with Frightfall? Hello, Frightfall, costumes, dressing up, and your look doesn't need to be scary. See? Honey Bee Lightly Stressed for my fave movie, Breakfast at Mulberry's. It's perfect. It's flawless. It's me. It's time for Fright.
Oh my God, it gets worse and worse. Now another one, a show for 7-year-olds called The Scientist shows students coming together to celebrate their gay teacher's wedding. And Barack and Michelle Obama are the show's executive producers.
Okay.
Sensei, bow to your sensei. Get on your knees and bow to your sensei. Dude, they're trying to normalize it so much. Did I miss a Cohen in the I didn't look at the names. Ivory Floyd. Storyboard by Micah Cohen. Oh my God. Guys. Dude. Cohen, Nickelodeon too, by the way. Look at this. We got another Cohen here from Nickelodeon.
Hey, I'm Michael D. Cohen. I play Schwaz on Henry.
Michael D. Cohen. Is this a girl turned boy? Girl turned man?
Hey, I'm Michael D. Cohen. I play Schwaz on Henry Danger and Danger Force. In 2019, I shared my story with Time Magazine that I had transitioned. And since then, I've been getting a lot of DMs and emails from
Tammy Cohen. Tammy Cohen, that's right.
World who, like me when I was a kid, have dreams of becoming an actor. So I went to Nickelodeon and said I really want to help make it possible for these kids to realize their dreams. So together, we are partnering to create the Michael D. Cohen Trans Youth Acting Challenge.
No.
Michael D. Cohen Trans Youth...
Dude, that sounds as retarded as the Zoolander's School for Children Who Can't Read Good. Or what is it? That's what it reminds me of. Introducing that shit.
The Michael D. Cohen Trans Youth Acting Challenge. The Michael D. Cohen Trans Youth Acting Challenge is open to any transgender and or non-binary youth who love acting. Whatever talents your child has, we want to see them. And we need you to...
Send all the videos of the young trans children to me. I want to see them. Send all the videos of the young kids dressing up in like trans, because I want to see them.
Help them put together their audition tape. We're going to pick 12 submissions, and they will be invited to participate in a very special Zoom acting masterclass with me.
A masterclass sleepover at my house with all the young trans kids.
And everyone who submits a tape will be invited to participate in a webinar with me and the Nickelodeon casting team to ask whatever questions are on their minds. So
encouraging this shit even more. Hey, they need way more trans kids in all the shows. They're going to be pushing this heavy. Nickelodeon, Netflix, Disney, Pixar.
Acting and meets these requirements, then go to www.transyouthacting.com where you can find all the submission information for your child's audition. I am so excited to see these auditions. This is a dream come true for me too.
Oh, I bet you can't wait for those auditions. Your dream come true. What are the chances he's not whacking it to those videos?
Yes, Derek. What Maury said I was willing to do for you. Let's get back to the reason that we're really here. Without much further ado, I give you the Derek Zoolander Center for Kids Who Can't Read Good.
Read well. I remember when I saw this in the theater, this part was so funny.
What is this?
School for...
A center for ants? What?
How can we be expected to teach children to learn how to read if they can't even fit inside the building?
Derek, it's just a...
I don't want to hear your excuses! The center has to be at least 3 times bigger than this.
Doesn't anyone notice this? I feel like I'm taking... He's absolutely right.
All right. Ben Stiller, hilarious Jew. We'll give him that. Hilarious Jew, right? Ben Stiller. Okay, here's another one. Show for toddlers, Netflix. Gecko's Garage. LGBTQ Pride Parade for the kids. In the Fat Camp Heavyweights, is that what that was called? So funny. The camp counselor, or in not Zoolander, the other, my favorite, Dodgeball. He's so funny in Dodgeball. I got one from Dodgeball. What is it? Oh, dude, I have a bunch of Ben Stiller, actually. Hold on. You want some Ben Stillers? This one's Ben Stiller.
Listen, everybody, don't freak out. Don't call your lawyers, all right? We make nice. Everybody's happy.
The lawyer in Heavyweights, another Ben Stiller. In Zoolander, I got another Zoolander one. Come on. All right, my shit's just not...
I knew it was a joke, Mikas. I just didn't get it right away.
From Zoolander? It wasn't. That's not him. That's somebody else. Here's the other one from Dodgeball.
You know, I just don't want to get into a formal thing here. I'm white, you know? I'm white. W-H-I-T.
Gay cars. Yeah, they got gay cars for the toddlers. And then the worst one, Coco Melon, for kids, for babies. Little boy wearing a princess dress, dancing for his 2 gay, mixed race, black guy, red beard dad. This is the worst one. We saved the best for last, the worst for last.
Something that we know about you. You love to get up and dance. How about you break out those moves for your 2 biggest fans?
Dude, this is just
if you're not sure,
one of the most infuriating things I've ever seen.
Think about all the things you like to do. Just be you.
Just be me?
Yep. When you're trying to decide, think about all the things you like to do. Just be you.
Is that Vouch?
Just be me.
Dude.
Something that...
Unbelievable. Unbelievable that Coco met Transflix. That's what it is. Even the other thing, I remember what it was. Rachel, Miss Rachel, is on Netflix now too. One of the like co-hosts is like some weird girl that thinks he's like a skater boy or something. Also, sound bites from Tropic Thunder. Dude, Netflix should be destroyed. Cancel Netflix. Everybody's posting their cancel Netflix things. Okay. That is all we have for today. Appreciate you all. Adam, Google Netflix stock. It's down 8% today. Let's see. It's still way up over 5 years. It's basically the highest it's ever been. Look, here's in the last year. 5 years. No. Nope. I guess it's going to keep going. They're going to be doing even more trans shit. That's a boycott. Oy vey, that's a good boycott, Goy. Rookie numbers. All right. I'm going to play this one in the next show. I'm going to wrap it up here. I hear the fam just got home. I love you all. I appreciate you all. Cancel Netflix. Don't let your children see any of this trash. Don't let them get to your children. Don't let them indoctrinate your children with Jesus goy slop, with trans goy slop. ADL, SPLC going down, maybe. No, probably not. TikTok takeover, definitely happened. Anti-Semitism psyop, definitely happening. We're cooked. We're cooked. It's not looking good. Not looking good. But we're going to try to turn it around. Without you guys, I would go crazy. I love you all. I appreciate you all. I hope you guys have a nice weekend. I'm taking tomorrow off to do the book unless something crazy happens. Maybe I'll see you on Sunday or something. But I appreciate you all. Leave me a comment below. I like reading your guys' comments. Clip the show. Share the links. Like, share, subscribe. Subscribe star link below. T-shirts at nomorenews.org. And you guys have a nice night and a nice weekend. I will see you again very soon. Take care.
Raised to be a Christian believer, but also as a seeker. Mama never held back the good, bad, or ugly from me. Eventually started wondering, after a long time of fighting myself. I saw a post that said exactly what I felt. Jesus, an ancient deception. Found Adam Green through a Twitter suggestion. Then I watched his debate with Duvid, leaving Christianity. Finally I could do it. Lost good friends, middle fingers on their hands. So many want to remain clueless. I feel like Adam Green sometimes. I'm just asking you to see my side. Some say I'm anti-Semitic, others say that I'm a Jew, but the truth is I am neither, I'm just trying to reach you. I feel like Adam Green sometimes. what it's like to be seen as the devil, when in reality you're trying to help them. They say I need to be saved by Jesus, but they're the ones in need of the saving. There's already been a few, started with the fall of Rome. It's not God, it's evil people destroying these homes. Human-made prophecies try to start the end times. See a foreign land as holy, brainwashed to resent mine. Books our ancestors wanted passed down to their people got replaced with ones that say our ancestors were evil. Been worshiping demons and knowing not what they did. Should we trust ourselves or the books that make us villains? You fall for the latter and say we should be tolerant, but your faith builds a prison in your head. I feel like Adam Green sometimes. I'm asking you to see my side. And one group says I'm anti-Semitic, another says that I'm a Jew, and the truth is I am neither. I'm just trying to reach you. I feel like Adam Green sometimes. And I'm all for not letting faith have us divided. But the spread of your faith was when all this deadly division started. I feel like Adam Green sometimes. I need you all to see my side. I've seen it, I believe it. And one group says I'm anti-Semitic, another says that I'm a Jew, and the truth is I am neither. I'm just trying to reach you. Can you see my view? Listen to Adam Green sometimes.